G'day ladies and gentlemen, Duckville here. Welcome to game number 3 of this best of 3 series between these two players here. This match was taken from the C Championship series, which was on Sunday the 24th. Of course there were, or 25th, I don't know, dates, whatever. Which of course was sponsored by TT Esports, Silicon Sports X Smash Gear, and Esports SG. Big thanks to all of the sponsors who helped out with the event. But this is the final match between these two players here, who have had a bit of a back and forth, not rivalry, but you know, they've had a lot of competition between the two of them because they are two of the best players in the C region here, down at the bottom edge of Polar Knights LE. It is our Zerg player, Frenetic Array, Petraeus. Petraeus, the young Zerg star who has represented the C region over at the Challenger League in WCS America through some of the seasons of 2013, has done a really good job with that. We'll see how he goes here up against his Terran foe and constant companion in the high levels of StarCraft 2 here. As the red Terran player at the top side of the map, it is Frenetic Array's Iaguz. And yeah, as I said, he's a high quality player as well. I don't think as many people would be as aware of our Gimli Terran just because of you know, just playing a little bit more Terran. The Terran players down here aren't as well known, I don't think, but of course everyone knows all of the Zerg players that we have here from Australia. You know, Moonglade, Pig, and you know, the rest of our wonderful crew that we have down here. But I guess I think he's needs a little bit more attention. You could jump onto his stream over at I believe it's Twitch. I'll post it up, whatever. It's been posted before in the little, you know, the name tag thing that I put here. It takes me like 5 seconds to write up. I think it's twitch.tv/MF Iaguz still, from his old crew that he was with, but yeah, he's now part of Frenetic Array and does really well. Goes up to the GM ranks in Korea, has been there for 3 seasons consecutively, and as the same for Petraeus, has also been doing quite well on the Korean ladder as well. Having some wonderful games, of course. If you want to see more of either of these players, you can just, if you jump onto my YouTube channel here, just search for their names and you should be able to find a couple more games of these wonderful players. But game number 1, of course, we did see Petraeus just rolling through with a whole bunch of banelings and some mutas, just cleaning up his opponent before he was able to get his production into gear. Game number 2, we did see Iaguz moving forwards, attacking the 4th base, putting relentless pressure on with that Terran Terror train of Marine and Mine medevac play, and he was just able to slowly push through and eventually cleaned up Petraeus' units that were defending, not necessarily the base, but I mean, once the units were gone, everything else is pretty much dead to 2-2 Marines because they do a ridiculous amount of damage. But as you can see, I'm just going to open us up with a pretty normal sort of thing here. This first Reaper is going to come across. Normally he doesn't make a second Reaper, but I don't know, it sort of differs. Sometimes he will, sometimes he won't. Like, I know that's kind of a really stupid thing for a commentator to say, but it's it's really different. Like, you don't always see. Many people will sort of stick with a very similar kind of opening, like they'll get 2 Reapers or they'll just get 1 and do it every single game. But Iaguz does change it up quite a lot. Sometimes he'll get 2 and can do a lot of damage with those 2 Reapers. Other times he'll just get the 1. So it looks like the Reaper is looking for a way up to the top of the cliff here. We'll find a way through. The Ling's not in position to defend that. There were 6 Lings, but unfortunately they were all in varying positions here. And the Reaper will scout through. It is going to die though, I believe. Yep, down she goes, or down he goes. And the first Queen that is out here for Petraeus is going to plop down a Creep Tumor. Very consistent thing for Petraeus is he will always grab this first Queen and put that Creep Tumor down right on the edge so that he can maximize the distance gained with that first Creep Tumor, and then we'll start to push it out there. But he is going to take a third. It looks like it will be over in this position here. The interesting thing about Polar Knight is that it sort of differs as to which base players take as their third, especially for the Zerg. There are varying types of issues that come with each of the bases. Of course, with this one, the Terran can set up on the high ground and really take an advantage here as they look to push in towards this base. And the other advantage that they can utilize is the the little bit of the tall grass. God, I completely forgot what the word was. But it looks like Iaguz is going to have a hard time setting up his wall at the front. Just a few Marines and a single Marauder are out at the moment, but he is finally going to get that bunker down. But as I was saying, the tall grass can really help with pushing into this position as well. The alternate version is over here, just in this position. It's a little bit closer. It's not as far for all of those units to run if you need to reinforce from the natural. But this base is a little bit closer, as you can see. You just got to head out here. But the problem is that there are, you know, there's so much space to attack into. Now, this does mean a lot, especially in ZVP, just because utilizing force fields can be a little bit more difficult in this position, but also because it's slightly closer, it can be a bit of a problematic thing. But I think this base, I'm not sure about taking this base in ZVT, just because there are these little funnels that can be utilized by the Terran players. So I don't know. We'll see if that comes back a little bit later on, and we can talk about that a little bit further. But Iaguz once again is going to be doing this Marauder play. We're going to be opening up with a couple of Marauders here. They will have their stim. Of course, the Hellions are already out. They're going to go out to establish some map control if they can, and it looks as if we will get a couple of medevacs out straight away to just help out with this push. Just a lot of support there for those guys. Speed does finish up just in time here for Petraeus, and he is able to capitalize by killing off some of those, some of the Hellions there. Gets, what was that, like 2 or 3 maybe? 3 are still alive though, and they will force the Lynx back. So Petraeus is going to pick up his lair very quickly here. Needs to, where's the inject there, Mr. Petraeus? Well, he's gonna, there you go, plops it on, and will continue on with his droning for the moment, but very soon he is going to have to be careful about the units that are about to pop out, because slowly Iaguz is building up that Marauder count. Of course, he won't have as many Hellions as he did in the first game, where we saw, I think it was around about 7 or 8 Hellions were out, and they were able to, you know, get some really good position there. But this time, we'll see how much damage Iaguz is able to get done. He's going to double check that this base is here. Yes, alright, cool, it is there. Maybe he can get a shot off on some of these Lings as well. That would be quite nice. But Petraeus actually snipes down one of the Hellions. Very nicely done. But for the moment, Iaguz is going to polish off some more of those units here, and we are going to, we are going to get pushed. Where's the... Okay, so we are going to have some medevacs coming out. They are actually interesting. We're going to have a double drop, or a drop of Widow Mines over here that's going in towards the main base, but a Spore Crawler is well placed. A couple of Lings and even a Queen is ready to deflect that attack, so Iaguz is going to change the attack angle and come in towards the natural while attacking at the third base. Really be able to get some damage done here. It looks like the Banelings are being targeted now. Very nicely done there by Iaguz. The Lings are now sweeping in through the back. The Hellions are getting some work done over on the back end there as well. So nice micro there. The Marauders are still alive though. The Hellions are in a little bit of trouble, but they should be able to get away for now. The Widow Mines are dropping in. Unfortunately for Iaguz, he doesn't have 9 hands and a couple extra keyboards as well, because he was microing on about 2 different fronts there already, and unfortunately did lose the Widow Mines that were set up. So the pretty much both of those attacks were deflected. Like, I mean, the only losses there for Petraeus were some for some low costs, you know, Banelings and Lings, and that was really about it. We didn't really suffer too many drone losses or anything. It is just 1-1 on the drone loss, on the work account loss for the moment, and at 2-2 is now morphing in for Petraeus, and as we saw just for a second there, his mushroom building, the spire, has now popped up, and Iaguz is third. It's slowly going to be set up, but I mean, he's a little bit behind where he would normally be, and the position I feel Iaguz is a little bit more comfortably in is where he is able to get his third base up really quickly. And do I see the race for the third base there? Petraeus trying to come across and drop down some creep to be extra obnoxious, but wasn't able to make it in time, and now we can see Iaguz is going to come across to the third base. Looks like he will get some damage done here, taking out a few of the Lings. Hellions are going to come in from the side as well. They will roast up some of the Lings, and the Marines and Marauders will load up. They'll have to back out of there, and the mutas are all starting to pop now, and that is not good at all for Iaguz. I think most of these units will go down, including very costly medevacs there. Iaguz not able to boost out. The mines are going to burrow. We will see more Marines and some more units now coming across to his base, but I mean, wow, some interesting shots on the eggs there where it was doing a little bit of damage, but Iaguz is forced out of there. Too many Marines dying here, and that is not doing enough damage there for Iaguz, so he's forced to back off for the moment. A lot of rallied units are now going to die as well. These medevacs need to get out of there very quickly. The mines are also in trouble as well. Looks like most of the medevacs will, well, they will escape. A couple of them will escape. Widow Mine shot. Big hit on a lot of the mutas there, very nicely done. but now the Leans and the Banes are going to sweep through. Attempted splits. Wow, the splits from Iaguz there are wonderful for the most part, and he does save quite a lot of the Marines and makes those Baneling hits very expensive, but the Banelings are now just morphing in right at the front here, and Petraeus takes game number 3 in a very swift fashion here. Just 14 minutes basically were up on the clock. So Petraeus takes down his teammate and consistent opponent here at the high levels of TvZ action in StarCraft 2. And I hope you all enjoyed the series. As mentioned in game number 1 and number 2, please do share and, you know, post on whatever, on Reddit and on TeamLink or whatever. Just, you know, post some stuff out there if you appreciate some of the content that I'm putting out. Thank you for watching, guys. Catch you all next time. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really nicely there. And for minigun, he's been sticking with a much